seen it? Have you seen the new trailer for Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters? He's back, baby! Oh, I'm so excited for Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters. I haven't been actually genuinely excited for a film. I suppose I was a bit excited for Avengers Infinity War because Thanos and everything, and I knew it was going to be awesome. I didn't know well, I hoped it was going to be awesome. Last time I got my hopes up for a film, really got them up, was Batman. Sorry, you might see everything wobbling a little bit. It's because I've got the camera on a box here, which I've got it there because I had it on my laptop screen here, but that was wobbling because I got my fan on, and I ain't turning the fan off, so there we go. Anyway, Batman v Superman, I spent 2 years looking forward to it, and I was thinking, how can they fuck it up? And then I spent 2 years hearing news, like how many characters they were cramming in, and anyway, that film was a piece of shit, and it killed my ability to be excited by film trailers, in the same way that Watch Dogs killed my ability to be excited by game trailers, because they just show you shit you're just not gonna get what you think you're gonna get. So fast forward, Godzilla. Everyone knows about the famously bad Godzilla '98 film, and it wasn't a truly awful film. It was just not good. I would actually go as far to say as it was bad, but it's watchable at least. But after that, Toho, the people that own the rights to Godzilla, who had given the rights to Legendary to make this Godzilla film, they made this Godzilla film and it was a piece of shit. So Toho went, "Give me that!" Took their rights back and left. Fast forward about 15 years, and they went, "Hey, Legendary, you want to have another crack at Godzilla?" And they were like, "Give me that!" So they made Godzilla in 2014, and I saw the trailers, and I was like, he's so awesome. Look how big he is, like how much devastation he's going to cause. Oh, and that iconic roar. Oh, it's so good. And I've never been like a massive Godzilla fan, but for some reason I was just loving Godzilla, the 2014 one, based on the trailers. And then I saw the film, and it was just not a great film. They didn't show anywhere near enough Godzilla. The bits they did show were awesome. Like there's a bit fairly near the film, some monsters attacking an airport, and then you see Godzilla's foot land right next to the camera as you're looking at the other monster, and you're like, oh shit, Godzilla's about to fuck shit up. And then it just cuts to some little kid watching a news shaky cam version of the fight that's happening, and you're like, don't do that. Don't tease me with a fight like that and then just take it away from me. Fuck you, film. And then they put Bryan Cranston in the film, which you'd think would be a good thing because he's awesome, but they squandered him. They went, here's Bryan Cranston, let's put Bryan Cranston in our film for like the first half an hour, and then we'll kill him off, and we'll spend the rest of the film focusing on that guy that played Kick-Ass and Quicksilver in one of the Avengers films. Like, he's a perfectly fine actor. Not in Godzilla, though. It's like the director said, okay, act like you have zero emotions and you are not seeing a giant lizard, and action. It was so bad, and they spent way too much time on the humans. There was so much wrong with that film when it could have gone right. Fast forward to a year or two later. Kong Skull Island, well, maybe it's like 3 years later. Kong Skull Island comes out, and I've got zero interest in King Kong. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Giant ape. Pfft. He doesn't have atomic breath. I don't care. And then my mate goes, no, you should probably watch it. It's really good. So I went around his place and I watched it, and I was like, that film was fucking awesome. It was everything Godzilla should have been, but wasn't. The film starts out, boom, you see King Kong almost immediately taking down whatever. No. The planes crash on the island, and then King Kong turns up, and he's like, I'm here. Like, that's just awesome. Almost all the scenes you see with King Kong are like shot in the daylight, where you can see everything very clearly, unlike the Godzilla film. And just every scene he was in, he stole it. And Samuel L. Jackson was in it as well. He was a cartoonish supervillain in that film. He was like on a one-man mission to kill this ape. It was just... that film was so fucking good. And I found out recently the director of it is going to be the director of the new upcoming Metal Gear film. So here's hoping it won't be another in a long line of shit video game films, but it probably will be. So, all of a sudden I care about Kong. The reason why I mainly agreed to watch that film was because I'd heard that Legendary were creating their own monsterverse, you see, because everyone wants to be Marvel these days, and they were gonna build up to Godzilla versus Kong. And I'd seen the Godzilla from 2014, and I was like, oh yes, more of him fighting, come on. And now I've seen Kong from Kong Skull Island, and that film's set in the 70s, and they say he's still growing in that film, so he's going to be much bigger, because he needs to be bigger to be Godzilla's size. So in 2020, Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out, and it's going to be awesome. That's what I said about Batman vs. Superman, but I can't have two crushing defeats with a versus film. It can't happen. So I'm a big fan of overpowered super badasses beating the shit out of each other. I love Pacific Rim. That's right up my alley. Giant robots, giant monsters, and it delivers on what you go in there. You want to see giant robots fight giant monsters. That's what you get, and you get Idris Elba being awesome. So I'm a big fan of this sort of thing. So I was like, okay, yep, that's good. Godzilla vs. Kong, that's a couple of years away. But what's this? Godzilla 2 is coming first. I didn't know that. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and I love the fact they're calling it King of the Monsters, because that's what he is. That's his name. He is Godzilla, the King of the Monsters. So, it's funny they say, oh, who's going to win, Godzilla versus Kong? Initially, my reaction is Godzilla, because he's King of the Monsters, and he's going to do his atomic breath, and it's going to be over. But then I saw Kong Skull Island, and I was like, okay, Kong, this sounds weird, talking about a giant ape like that, but he has the speed advantage. If he can knock Godzilla off his feet, it could be trouble. And Godzilla does take a long time to charge up his atomic breath, which I like, because it's so awesome the way you see his spines light up his back, and you hear the noise like, oh, it's fucking so good. So Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters. Now, I'm gonna play the trailer. Not quite yet. I'm gonna play the trailer and do like a bit of a reaction to it, even though I've already seen the trailer. But I need to tell you guys some stuff first. Let me do this. And I need to press that. Let me just check to see if it did what I think it did. It did do what I think it did. Right, so here's the trailer. We ain't going to watch that, because I heard that Godzilla, there was going to be more monsters in this one. It's not just going to be... In the 2014 film, they couldn't use any of Godzilla's famous enemies, because Toho were tentatively giving their license back to Legendary. They were like... In fact, I don't even know if Legendary made the 1998 version. But either way, Toho were giving the license to Godzilla to an American studio again, and the last time they did that, it was shit. So they were like, you can have Godzilla. That's it. So they had to make up their own monsters for the film, and they were pretty decent monsters, quite interesting, so, you know, that's okay. But in this film, Toho went, oh, you did a good job this time. Okay, you can have the rights to some more of our monsters. Now hear this. Right? I don't know how familiar you are with like Godzilla monsters and stuff, and I'm not massively familiar. I haven't seen... There's been like 50 Godzilla films, and I have not really seen any of them other than the recent American ones. Nor do I want to, because I've seen a lot of clips from the old Godzilla films. That's not what I'm into. I'm not into giant men in rubber suits. I grew out of Power Rangers when I was a child. I don't want to watch that and have Godzilla slapped on it. So there's that. But I'm aware of some of his famous monsters. Now, Mothra. Mothra, you think, like, I thought, sounds a bit dumb. Giant moth. What's scary about that? But I found out recently, Mothra, I mean, well, I say what's scary about that. If that existed, it would be scary. I know that for a fact, so there's that. But apparently Mothra is sometimes a good guy. In fact, quite often a good guy. Where does it say? What did I just pulled up the wikis here in case I can find some interesting tidbits. Mothra is a giant moth goddess and the most common recurring monster in the Godzilla series besides Godzilla himself. Unlike most other monsters in the series, Mothra is always on the side of good. There we go. Mothra's first film appearance was in 1961. I'm tired about these jokes about my giant hand. She has appeared in every era of Godzilla films, along with Mechagodzilla, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah, sorry. I hear a lot of people call it King Ghidorah, but I googled how to pronounce it, and in the Japanese films, and in the English dubs of the Japanese films, they call him King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah! So that's what I would call him. So apparently, Mothra starts off as a larva and resembles a giant brown caterpillar. When she enters her imago stage, there's a new word for you, Mothra resembles a giant multicolored butterfly with large blue lensed eyes. A beautiful butterfly. Although she looks more like a moth, let's face it. So, Mothra is in the new Godzilla film, right? So Mothra's going to be helping Godzilla, right? And I know this all sounds super dumb. And it is, but you have to take... I mean, look, Pacific Rim was dumb. I heard it was dumb going in, but I also heard it delivers what you think it's going to deliver. If you go in there expecting like Oscar-worthy performances, what are you doing? It's a monster film. You go in there to see a spectacle. That's what these things are. And Godzilla fighting with Mothra, whatever they're fighting, that's going to be a spectacle. Oh, but wait till you see who they're fighting. So there's this. Anything else interesting here? Origins, not really. What about powers? What can Mothra do? Mothra will appear in the upcoming Godzilla 2. Her role is currently unknown. True, but it's probably going to be... Oh, here we go. Her role is probably going to be aiding the humans in Godzilla, but we'll get to that. So, abilities. Supersonic flight. Mothra can fly anywhere from Mach 1 to 5, and usually flies around Mach 3. So 3 times the speed of sound. 3 times faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. Think about that. Mothra can create powerful wind gusts using her wings. Scales. Mothra can drop reflective scales from her wings that act as a 3D mirror, reflecting opponents' projectile attacks back at them. Okay. The scales also have a poisonous effect on enemies. Only enemies, I like that. Using the scales diminishes Mothra's flight ability, and for this reason it is usually used as a weapon of last resort. Okay. We probably won't see the scales in the new film. Antenna beams. Mothra can fire laser beams from her antennae. I don't know why I got stuck with that. Antennae. Antennae? Antenna? Why am I having difficulty with that word? Regardless, laser beams from the antennae. Antennae. Fuck that word. Stingers. Mothra can launch a barrage of poisonous stingers from her thorax. Kamikaze attack. After being set on fire, which I hope this happens, Mothra can charge at an enemy and explode, destroying both herself and her opponent. So far, she has only ever used this attack on Gigan. She ain't going to do it in this new film. And immortality. That's a bit of a big one. Mothra is an immortal goddess with similarities to a phoenix. Despite having experienced death on multiple occasions, Mothra is always reincarnated through an egg she lays through divine methods. So there's that. Weaknesses. Mothra has a severe weakness against enemies' energy-based attacks, which can burn her wings, which will just allow her to do her kamikaze attack, so I don't see why that's a problem, or cause her entire body to be set on fire. Again, kamikaze attack. Mothra uses her scales to compensate for this weakness, but overusing the scales takes away from Mothra's ability to fly. As an adult, Mothra cannot breathe underwater and can be drowned. So there's Mothra. Close. Rodan! Okay, the stupid... Where is it? I don't know if it's here. Apparently in Japan it's called Radon, but they changed the name to Rodan because they thought foreign audiences might confuse it with the element Radon. It would make more sense if it called it Radon, but okay. It's called Rodan. Okay. Enormous... Okay, now I'm going to have to read this word. Pteranodons. Nice and easy. Enormous pteranodons mutated by high dose of radiation, which would explain why they're called Radon. Shouldn't have called it Rodan, but whatever. The Rodans usually... So that this makes it sound like there's more than one Rodan. Okay. I mean, I guess there's multiple versions of each thing. The Rodans usually walk bipedally when not airborne. Some incarnations boast a spiked chest and belly, whilst in others this is replaced by plates of hard bone-like material, which is probably what we'll see in the film. Bone-like material. Okay, powers and abilities for Rodan. Supersonic flight. Again, Rodan is capable of flying faster than the speed of sound and is exceptionally maneuverable whilst airborne. Shockwave generation. The Rodans are able to produce destructive blasts by simply flapping their wings, as is evidenced. It is evidenced and glimpsed at in the trailer. I'll get to that. Uranium heat beam. I mean, Godzilla's got his atomic breath, but uranium heat beam doesn't sound like something to be trifled with. When the Rodans were first encountered, they were shown to be capable of generating a blast of nuclear energy from their mouths, although this fear has never been repeated. Maybe they mean this feat has never been repeated. Power immunity. Rodan is immune to both Godzilla's atomic breath, that's bad news, and King Ghidorah's gravity beams. That may be bad news. Maybe bad news, we'll see. Yeah, so he can fly and he's got laser beams, basically. King Ghidorah. Godzilla's most famous enemy, maybe. I assume Mechagodzilla is Godzilla's enemy as well, but King Ghidorah in the universe, I'm led to believe, is like the biggest threat to Godzilla. King Ghidorah, also known as Monster Zero. Now here's an important thing. Apparently they're calling him Monster Zero in the new film. And at first I was like, oh, that's a bit lame. They didn't have the balls to call him King Ghidorah, but apparently Monster Zero was his original name, so I cannot fault them for going classic. For going deep cuts. I can't fault them. So, and Monster Zero, it does sound more like something humans would call it rather than King Ghidorah, but whatever. Anyway, King Ghidorah is a giant three-headed dragon and Godzilla's arch-enemy. Ghidorah first appeared in the 1964 film Appearance. Yeah, well, there he is. You can see him. Look at his ass. Now he's got wings. Apparently sometimes he doesn't have wings, but in the trailer for the new film we see he has wings. Doesn't have arms though. Could be a disadvantage. Got 3 heads, but doesn't have arms. Okay, powers and abilities. That's all we care about. Doodle-doo. Abilities, gravity beams. King Ghidorah's signature attack is his ability to spit powerful gravity beams from his 3 heads. Ghidorah's gravity beams can singe Godzilla's skin, and level entire city blocks in one hit. Only a city block? Oh, I thought it would be a city yet, but you know, whatever. Durability. King Ghidorah's scales are incredibly thick and cannot be pierced with conventional weaponry. Even Godzilla's atomic breath cannot pierce through the scales, only burn them. So Godzilla's atomic breath is going to be pointless in the new film, because his enemies are immune to it. Well, he's not immune. King Ghidorah's not immune to it. He can still be burnt. That'll probably... Maybe that'll... I'm not going to get into crazy, weird theories. Supersonic flight. Okay, we all know that. Hurricane winds. King Ghidorah's wings can produce powerful hurricane force winds capable of blowing away buildings with ease or knocking enemies like Godzilla over, which again could be a problem. Thunder spark. King Ghidorah can withhold his gravity beams and release a strong electric surge through his bite. Energy shield. He can surround himself in a golden energy that can absorb projectile attacks and fire them back at the source with increased force, just like the Man on Fire in Metal Gear Solid 5. Light barrier. King Ghidorah's scales can manipulate light from energy-based attacks and form a protective barrier. Again, I don't think we're going to see all of these things happen. But like when Godzilla 2014 came out, my mate was like, "They're not going to put the atomic breath in there. That's just too silly." And I was like, "It will be rubbish if they don't," and they did, and it was awesome. So maybe I shouldn't say they wouldn't put all these moves in. I'm sure they won't put all of these moves. They'll put the signature ones in. Like King Ghidorah will do gravity beams if it's his signature attack. Otherwise, why have him in there? Okay, meteorite. He can encase himself within a meteorite that has magnetic properties and travel to planets while inside of it. That probably won't be in the film. I think he was discovered in the ice somewhere. They find him in the ice. So they're not going to go with the alien origin. He's got different forms. Oh my god, a Dorat in Godzilla vs King Ghidorah. The fuck is this? Shit like that is why I don't want to watch the old films. Oh, look, and then shit like this is why I should. Mecha King Ghidorah, because just put mecha on stuff and it'll make it better. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of that shit because we ain't going to see all of that shit in this new film, are we? 1,000-year-old dragon King Ghidorah. Trivia. King Ghidorah is one of 3 monsters besides Godzilla himself to appear in all 4 eras of Godzilla films, the others being Mothra and Rodan. Yes, Mothra and Rodan are also going to be in this new film. They're continuing the trend. I like that. It seems like they're really respecting the source material whilst making it modern. It seems like the Godzilla in 98, they just took like the base idea and then made their own thing out of it. I heard today of the Japanese Spider-Man. I learned of today, where apparently in the 70s, some Japanese company bought the rights to Spider-Man from Stan Lee, and he said, "Go, Spider friends, make a movie," and they did. And that's the first and last time I'll ever do a Stan Lee impression. And they made a film, and Spider-Man was a rich motorcycle racer who had a giant robot. So not the poor kid from Queens like he normally is. So that's their version. Our version of fucking up their source material was well, I say our version, the Americans' version was the 98 Godzilla. It's like they took the idea and then just went, yeah, let's try and distance ourselves from the silliness. This film seems to be like, let's just incorporate the silliness and make it not silly. So good. So there's King Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan. Now, Gamera is a thing, right? No one has said that Gamera's in the film, but there's a bit where who could it be if it's not Gamera? Maybe I don't think Gamera's going to fight. I think Gamera's going to be in it as a scene of wonder, because in the trailer you see this thing that looks like the head of Gamera, and I'm like, that's probably Gamera. But the reason why I brought up Gamera, I'm not going to go through his details. I wanted to show you the picture of Gamera. This is probably what Gamera's most known for from one of the old films. Just watch. No. He's coming to a standstill. I can only assume he was thrown in that direction by an enemy, and then he grabbed the bar and slowed himself down, and now he's coming back. Look at this textbook dismount, though. Textbook. Look. Textbook. He's like, and that's how it's done. And the judges hold up their scorecards. Again, that's why I don't watch those films, but it's also why I probably should. So there's that. So Gamera is also a thing. Now, we're just going to quickly go through the trailer. We're going to watch it. I'll say a couple of things, and then we'll scrub through it quickly, and I'll point out a couple of things, and then that'll be that. So here we go. Oh, it's so good.
Our world is changing.
Millie Bobby Brown, she's good in...
Extinction, we
That show,
has already begun,
Stranger Things.
and we are the cause. We are the infection.
I suspect this is just a shot for the trailer. I don't know if this will be in the film. Because look how late she leaves it to start running. I reckon that's a trailer shot. But we'll see.
But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans.
The Titans. Right, so humans are cancer, and the Earth is going, okay, I need to rid myself of this cancer. Monsters.
Creatures have remained in hiding around the world. And
Oh, I wonder who that could be.
Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we.
That's devastation.
They are the only guarantee.
This is, look, this is Gamera. If that ain't Gamera,
Will carry on.
who's that if not Gamera? Oh, listen to the noise of him charging up his atomic breath. It's so cool. They shortened it for the trailer. Look, Mothra. I can't fucking wait for this film. Rodan on top of a volcano.
I am sorry, but this is the only way.
So many little moments to just pause and point at. Some sort of family. Yeah, I hope they don't focus on the humans too much. I really don't, because that was a problem with the first film. Total apocalypse.
You're a monster. I'm sorry.
Wait for it.
Long live the king.
Listen to this. No, not this. When Godzilla does his roar, it gives me goosebumps. Oh, man. It's Godzilla. Fuck the T-Rex roar. I mean, T-Rex roar is awesome, but fuck it. Godzilla's roar is where it is at. Oh, I don't know if I've ever watched a film trailer that gave me goosebumps. I'm not the kind of guy. Like, I don't cry when watching films. I don't, like, I see people posting questions on Reddit all the time saying, when was the last time you cried at a song? And I'm like, people cry at songs? What? Like, I don't think I've ever cried at... I may have cried at a film when I was a kid. I don't cry at films. I don't cry at music. The only time I ever cried while playing a video game was I rolled a single tear at the end of The Walking Dead, Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1, because that was good. But yeah, I'm not really a crier. I don't really get, like feel genuine, like, buzzing excitement. But this film is fucking doing it for me. It really is. So, let's just go through this. Let's just have a look. Let's just have a look, see if that's all still looking good. It is. Excelente. So, we've got... Yeah, there's the, what I think might be a trailer shot. What was this bit? Oh yeah, that's just the logo appearing. Yeah, so she's like, okay, humans are bad and the Earth's trying to get rid of us. This guy, that's going to be Eleven's dad in the film. There was two flags at the beginning. These two flags. And apparently, I think that flag is something to do with people who are missing in action or prisoners of war or something. So she's looking at that. So it's no, wrong one. Where is it? This guy that is almost certainly her dad, because you can see it in the picture later. I guess maybe he had an encounter with one of the monsters, and now he's been taken into where Monarch are. Monarch are the company that basically track these monsters. And if you watch the end of the post-credit scene to Kong Skull Island was so good, because it had Tom Hiddleston and what's-her-face thinking they were about to be interrogated by the government, but they weren't. These two people come out and they're like, we're from Monarch. We track these monsters. We know you've seen King Kong. Check these cave paintings out we found in some fucking Asian temple somewhere. And it's like cave drawings of Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra and King Ghidorah. And I was like, they're doing it. They are doing it. They are going, if we're going to build this monsterverse, let's go all out. So anyway, I think he must have some sort of... Maybe he had an encounter with Godzilla. Maybe Godzilla saved him. Who knows? Because Millie Bobby Brown must have some sort of special connection with Godzilla. I hope it's not some stupid, lame E.T. Elliot synchronized telepathy bullshit. Fucking E.T. Right, so
And rightful rulers,
we've got
the Titans.
Oh, we just missed him. We've got Ken Watanabe's back. The Asian version of Captain Mumbles. I call Harrison Ford Captain Mumbles for obvious reasons. And did you watch Inception? You've pretty much got to put the subtitles on when he talks. Fucking hell. Okay, so yeah, here we go. So we've got the dad.
For thousands of years.
Having a bonding moment with Godzilla, maybe. Godzilla's like, I see you, bitch. And they're all. See, this is what I like, right? They're all. I hate those films where they're like, here's a little bit of the monster. Oh no, we're teasing him. We've got to save the full reveal for later. Even though we've already shown it in the trailers 50 times. Got to save the reveal because we don't want them to know what it looks like. Even though it's already been in the trailer 50 times. This film looks like, oh, you want to see monsters? Here's fucking monsters. And these people are all acting like you really would. You'd be like, you would just be stood there staring at it like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. It's crazy. Also, surprise Thomas Middleditch. He was, I don't know him from, I think he's in Silicon Valley. I don't watch that. But he was in Pete Holmes' Street Fighter Red Tape series. That was kind of funny. So yeah, there's that. There's obviously that. See, that looks like. I mean, what is that? A shadow of King Ghidorah, but is it like an ash shadow? Was it burnt onto a wall, or is that like a film of some kind? And we're looking at a shadow of him on the other side, but he's holding perfectly still for some reason. I don't quite know what this is. I don't know really what I'm looking at in that scene.
All the Titans are found.
And then this is them going, yo, that's a big ass boy. Apocalypse.
So will we.
I hope to God those apocalypse scenes aren't just like some sort of flash forward where they're like, this could happen. And then they'll show you the flash forward and then you're like, well, we know it's not going to happen now because you've already shown us in the flash forward. Right, yeah, so here we go. I mean, just look at...
And so will we.
So this, if I... Oh, fuck's sake, I missed it again.
And so will we.
Pause. No. Pause. I think this is... Oh, no, I don't know. Now I think this is two different scenes, because at first I thought this was maybe Gamera, who had been maybe caught or found by Monarch. But now, looking at the size of these people right there, I don't think that's Gamera. You know what I think that is? I think that's the egg that Mothra is going to come out of. That's what I think that is. And then they just cut to... And then they cut to this bit, which seems like a completely different place, even though it's the same colour. And look. Right? Gamera is a giant tortoise man. What's that if it ain't a giant tortoise head? It's like the giant tortoise thing from Neverending Story that sneezed all over him just before the horse died. Artax! Artax! That's got to be Gamera. Just like no one's mentioning it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's clearly not him. Oh, now you know what I think it is. Fuck, I don't think that's Gamera. Maybe that's Mothra in the pupa stage. After Mothra's hatched out of the egg, it became a pupa, and then that's what this is. And then it turns into, yeah, that's probably what it is, which would explain why no one's talking about Gamera being in this film. So forget I said Gamera, but now you know Gamera exists if you didn't already. So, what have we got here? Oh yeah, Godzilla going, I'm here! You need my help again, boys, let's do this! He's like, look at this move that my enemies will be immune to. Fuck's sake. Oh, and this bit, with Mothra, spreading its wings. Right, so that's got to be... I mean, look at the size of it now. Compared to those little buildings there. This is obviously like the first time it's like unfurled its wings. It's like, I'm here. This whole film's gonna be monsters going, I'm here, and that's what I want to see. They hide the body, but they show you the wings. It's like, oh man, that's a magnificent creature. It's next summer though. We've got to wait a whole fucking year. But on the plus side, only 1 year after that is Godzilla vs Kong. I'm not sure what this is. Some sort of waterfall. Again, this is them. That's probably Millie Bobby Brown. She's probably got a hand on the egg, I think. They're like trying to incubate it, maybe. A random mountain explosion for some reason. Oh, Wait a minute, let me go back. So that's clearly some sort of human installation, and it's just been blown the fuck up. But here, that looks like the top of a volcano. So are we to believe that this volcano, the one that Rodan is perched on later in the trailer, was a human base, maybe? Maybe it was a bad guy base, but then the good guys had to blow it up to summon Rodan to help them. It's still unclear as to whether Rodan is good or bad, because we know Mothra's good, and we know Godzilla is working with the humans, because he's a good guy. And we see him at the end of the trailer when he does his roar, and all the fighter jets are with him, and it's like, yeah, America! And I'm not even American, and I'm saying that. So we know Mothra and Godzilla are going to be fighting together. Now, we also know that Rodan is sometimes good, sometimes bad. We also know that Rodan in the past has teamed up with Mothra and Godzilla to fight King Ghidorah, and we know that the other three are in this film. So, but there's a bit in the trailer where you see Rodan destroying jets. So I suspect it's going to be Godzilla and Mothra versus Rodan and King Ghidorah. That's what I think. But maybe there's going to be some sort of switch near the end where Rodan's like, lol, JK, I'm the anti-hero, I was only pretending to be a bad guy. Oh, they look glorious. That's clearly a different... Okay, yeah. So that must have been a mountain with a human base on it. This looks way higher than the one we just saw, to my eyes, but it's hard to tell. But clearly, Rodan harnessing the molten rock. I think that's part of... I didn't notice it in the Wikipedia page, but I heard it somewhere. I think like molten rock is part of Rodan's thing. So there's that. So yeah, we got soldiers giving it all that. We got him saying you're out of your goddamn mind, and that's probably. I bet that's him to that woman when she was like, "Yo, we should get like Godzilla to help us, or we should get Mothra to help Godzilla," and then he goes, "You're out of your goddamn mind." That's what I reckon. And then I don't know what that is, a bomb of some kind.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at this, right? So you've got Rodan flying over these buildings. Look at the trail of destruction from the left-hand side of the houses just being destroyed. Can I go frame by frame? Is that a thing I can do? Oh, shit. I can. Yeah, look at the houses, look. They're all getting destroyed in the wake. Oh, fuck that. It's going too slow and jerky. I'll just play it in real time.
Sorry, but this is the only way.
Look at that. Because Rodan's like, I'm low-flying, bitch. Which means he's probably going to be a bad guy. This... electrical storm ball, right? I think that's King Ghidorah, because I'm pretty sure King Ghidorah's attacks are yellow electric. So he's probably going ham trying to kill someone for some reason. We got a Hummer busting out of some tunnel. We got some soldiers. We got Millie Bobby Brown going, "Oh man, I miss my dad. I miss my dad, man." Oh wait, so that's her mum as well. Wait, okay. So her mum... Okay, so I guess her mum works for Monarch, and then her dad is like army man, maybe? I don't know, ex-army man? I don't know. I hope they didn't spend too much time dwelling on the humans. I really don't. So we've got lightning attack, probably Ghidorah. She's probably, I guess, based on the yellow flashes, again, I think she's a little bit scared that King Ghidorah's outside trying to kill people. Yeah, what's that all about? Oh, wait. No, let's have a look. Okay. Because they mention in Kong Skull Island, they mention the Hollow Earth theory. I think in this universe, the Hollow Earth theory is a thing. That's where all these dinosaurs went underground to like avoid a mass extinction event or something. But there's this. What's this? This is clearly underground, but there's structures there. There's a statue there. It's clearly underground, and there's a big explosion. Is this that bomb thing we saw earlier? Is it an attack from one of the monsters? It's devastating, whatever it is. And then look at this, pure apocalypse. I hope this isn't a flash forward of things that might be. I hope this is like, yeah, this happens during the fight. And there's Rodan. He doesn't look that big there, but he also looks very far away. And they're trying to shoot him down with some sort of machine gun. Look at this, tornadoes up in this bitch, just like natural disasters and shit. This is the Earth saving itself. Ha! Giant storm. Probably produced by Ghidorah because it's yellow. I'm just going to assume anything yellow is him now. This is clearly two different scenes because you can tell by the lighting. This is all like regular lighting, and then the next scene it's all blue. They're probably at different ends of the film. These two scenes.
I'm sorry.
You're a monster. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's probably saying I'm flat out theory mode now. When she goes, I'm sorry, maybe she was about to like pull the plug on the egg or something like that. I don't know. So anyway, Godzilla's in the background. He's like, yo, actually, was that Godzilla?
You're a monster. I'm sorry.
I think that was King Ghidorah behind her, but we don't know. Not to quote Ace Ventura, not enough for a positive ID. More soldiers, Ice Cube's son apparently. Yeah, look, fighter jets, and then boom! This is some Rodan bitch right here. Caught a fighter jet, chucking it away. Right, so Rodan is at least at some point a bad guy, because that's probably an American jet. Let's face it. So there's Rodan. Still, look, he's all coated in like molten rock and flames and shit. So he's going to use that to his advantage. And I think I see a bit of it. What did I see earlier? I saw he can do, yeah, he can like clap his wings and do like an attack. And I mean, he does that. You'll see it. Seems to be cooling himself off in the water a little bit there. King Ghidorah, this is the best look we get at him. Look, he's like, yes, I have wings. Why is there a little blue bit down where his crotch should be? I don't get it. What's that? Anyway, that's King Ghidorah. He's like, I am back. I like this. They're showing some of the monsters, but not too many, because this is just the first trailer, remember, so we're going to see more than this. So they're just going, these are the monsters, they're in the film. And you get to look at them, not too much, but enough. And then in the trailers later, they'll be like, here's a bit more. I just hope in the films, in the film, they don't drag it out and keep hiding it and teasing it. Because if they show you the monsters in the trailer, just fucking go, just do what Kong did and go, here's a giant ape, you knew he was going to be in it. Because that's what you want. And this line makes so much. It's not just like I saw some people going like, "Oh, long live the king!" is so cheesy. Oh god, because he's in Game of Thrones. No, it's because Godzilla is king of the monsters. That's why it's such a badass line.
Long live the king.
And then yeah, see, this is that clap attack that Rodan can do. Look. He's got all these jets coming after him, and he's like, bitch, please, I'm out of here. Boom! And then he's just up, and he's probably dropping molten rock down there. Little atomic bird shits for some reason. Right, so this is some sort of step in hell, by the looks of it. I'd like to say that's in the apocalypse scene. Again, a little bit more of apocalypse. More fighter jets. More Ken Watanabe. He probably gets... This is probably seconds before he dies. I'm just putting it out there. In fact, this is probably where they find Rodan, because it looks fire and molten shit. That's probably where they find Rodan, seconds before he dies. And then we get a lot of light in the sky. This might be a trailer shot as well, because I find it weird that she's looking. She must be, or maybe it's a trick, because maybe this is after all the dust is settled, and she's looking up at her rescuers because there's a light shining. Oh no, well it's lightning, I think, isn't it? I don't know, but maybe it's a helicopter turning up to pick her up, and she's like, yes, I'm safe. But they give the impression she's looking up at Godzilla and smiling, and that's kind of weird. I don't want her to have the E.T. Elliot telepathy shit with Godzilla. But here he is, look at the size of that boy. Look at the size of that absolute unit, as the kids say these days. And the jets come flying by, and King Kong's going to be that size in the King Kong vs. Godzilla. And we'll listen to that roar one more time. It's awesome, because just when you think... He starts roaring, and you're like, okay, he's going to wrap it up now. And he just keeps going. He's like, I'm God's fucking Zilla, bitch. Don't know if you could tell, but I'm a little excited. So May 2019, so just under a year, and we will be seeing that in theaters. Now, if I do this, is that going to do the thing that I think it's going to do? No? Yes, it did. It just didn't change the preview window. So there's that. This is probably way too long, but I'm going to end it here. This is why I'm really looking forward to Godzilla King of the Monsters. I'm really looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong. But before that, we got to get Godzilla King of the Monsters out of the way. If that's good, everything rests on this film being good. But you've seen what I've seen, and you've viewed it through my lens now. So hopefully now you understand why I'm so fucking excited for that film. Peace.